You're listening to the Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your host, Josh, with my co-host, Jen. How are you today?
Doing good.
It is June, and we're finally doing another episode. How many weeks late are we?
Very. I don't know. Too many.
How many angry messages have you received?
Ooh. No angry messages, but I'm glad we're doing it. There's lots of fun stuff happening right now.
There is. Yeah, we're gonna just jump right into this thing. We've been playing a little bit. It feels like I have not played nearly as much in the last week and a half as I did before this. But we got the June wedding stuff happening right now. What do you think of this?
I am loving June so far. The wedding stuff is fun. I like that. But I love all of the June fish and bugs and the weeds. Like, I just love June.
What, you love the weeds?
I do. I love how different they are, and they're still just as cute, just as pretty and fun to decorate with. So anyways, but yeah, no, June, that first day of June was really fun getting to go out and do the wedding photo shoots and experience all the new things. I love it.
So you say the weeds, they actually changed the way they look. Like there was like some dandelions and it looked like, I think on the southern hemisphere even, it looked like almost like wheat, the way some of the weeds were growing. So
yeah.
it's the fall's gonna be interesting for us in the
and
northern
I love
hemisphere.
that. I love that it changes with the season. I think that's so fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And I mean, it's worth noting too, like I'm at a 5-star on my island right now, and I have decorated with a handful of weeds.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I know I've seen people in my Twitch chat and stuff that are like, they wonder like, oh, can you have weeds or can you not have weeds? Or if you have too many weeds, Isabel's going to tell you.
Right.
If you don't have too many weeds, if it's not mentioned, then you're fine. You know you're good to go. So.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of think that probably is the thing, since that's why they made them so pretty, because they are fun to use, especially, for your area, like a farm area or up in the woods or something, It just adds so much to it.
Yeah, it's so different from the last game, because the last game, weeds were the bane of my existence.
Right? Oh my gosh, I know, it killed me to go to someone's island and have weeds everywhere. I'm like, here, let me help you.
I opted out of using the night owl setting just so that my island would stay beautiful.
Yeah.
So even now, if I fire it up, it's still actually be like 3 weeds. I'll be like, yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. So
yeah.
Harvs Island was cool. I mean, it's it's nothing major,
Right.
but it's nice that they're continually adding to the game. There's definitely new clothing items. Like there's summer clothing items that are
oh my gosh,
that
yes.
are new. And for you who you get up every day, you change your clothes. If you guys are only listening to this and not watching it on YouTube, she's currently matching Maple, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on, with her tree shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Dr. Dax for hooking you up with that.
Yeah, she's awesome. Thank you.
So, but yeah, I think the biggest question mark for this June stuff in this update is that we can now trade with Wilbur, either sell items to him, which is just like putting it in the box, or we can send stuff back to our storage, which is great, but it doesn't work on the Mystery Islands. It only works at Harvs, and you really can't collect anything or pick anything up. Harvs is closed off. This is one of the strangest decisions. I feel like the wrong switch got flipped, maybe for the wrong island. I actually am curious, as we're sitting here talking about it. I haven't tested it. I may have you walk down. No, there's no Wilbur here though. You just go and talk to Orville. So I was wondering if maybe you could talk to Orville. But I don't think that's the case. That would be nice if you were visiting somebody else's
to send
island.
It home.
Yeah, to be able to send, like maybe you were doing a big turnip run, you could send.
It would be huge. And I mean, there's plenty of times I come to shop other people's stores, especially when you go to the Able Sisters, because on other people's islands, it goes to your pockets, not your storage. So when you're trying to buy one in every color, your pockets fill up fast. So yeah, I'm a little confused by that too. I was so excited when we thought it was going to be the answer to this, the solution to this problem, but it's not. And I mean, you can get, they're offering the new wedding, furniture. And so, I mean, if you go and your pockets are full and you want to bring it back, I guess.
Well, they'll just ship it. I went there with my pockets full to kind of test stuff out,
Right.
and they just send it to your storage.
So,
Like,
I mean,
I didn't
that's
even have to go
nice.
talk to Wilbur. Reese just sent it to my storage.
Oh, okay.
She sent the crystal hearts and the wedding piece, the piece of furniture or whatever, just directly to my storage.
Yeah.
Which
So
was
it's
cool.
just interesting.
But I haven't even looked into the crystal hearts. Do you know what they do?
Well, so when you go and do the photo shoot, they only give you one of the items, even though, personally give you one item. You can use the others, and then you use the crystals if you want to trade him so that you have them in your inventory. So, like the other day, my new items were, for instance, just like the candle, the table, and maybe like flowers. Well, they gave me the candle, but if I wanted to buy the flowers or the table, I had to trade crystals, or I don't know. I could be saying that incorrectly as to which item they actually gave me, but you have to trade for the other ones.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Which, I mean, the other thing that's interesting is listening to Reese talk about Cyrus and how he can build this, he can build that, and they're in the game. I don't think they're going to be in the game for just one event once a year that we only going to see them in June,
Right.
and have to redo this. Like, I just can't imagine that that's the only reason. And we knew they were here because we've scanned their amiibo and they show
showed
up. Whereas
yeah.
like Cap'n or other like Mr. Rossetti, nothing. Which I think Mr. Rossetti's flying that helicopter when you get stuck somewhere. That's I think
That would be
he's
cute.
I think he's there were some things that they mention about like making sure not to hit reset and call us or something like that, and it made me wonder like I wonder if that is Mr. Rossetti. It's just kind of he's got a new job in the sky now. He's no longer underground, but
Yeah.
I really believe that Cyrus and Reese are going to be back, and I'm kind of thinking that the fact that we can trade stuff with Wilbur at the island is that they're going to open up Harvs Island. It's going to become possibly more of like a place where shops can go, because I mean, right now, if they updated the game and said, hey, Brewster's going to be making his way there and Gracie's coming back and Kix is going to have a shop, I would have to demolish. I don't even know where they would go because of the way I'm terraformed and everything. I don't even know where I would be able to put their stuff.
And I've seen people reserve spots on their island, kind of waiting and hoping for these shops to come. But yeah, it's going to mess up a lot of people if that's the case. But it would be sad to not have them at the same time. So I don't know. Maybe that is a good solution.
I really think it's going to be an island that we head to. I think Harvs was just the first stop, because if you look, like I was kind of scoping out the island and looking at just looking at the way it's set up. All it would take is a couple fences to be moved, and there's lots of space. It looks like it's a relatively large island. It's just there's just fences right now where we can't access it. So, and they also sent us to that maze, right? And what's his name? Rover was there,
right?
And so, I mean,
where was that even?
maybe Reese and Cyrus get, there's Harvs Island. Maybe they'll be.
Yeah.
Maybe Reese and Cyrus will have an island too. And then, I mean, if you really think about it, this game is missing a lot of the items that were in past games. It seemed like up until New Horizons, every game was it added to the amount of items and the furniture sets, and this one really kind of took away. And it seems like you can get like the cafe set, and you can get like 7 different colors or whatever. I'm just exaggerating, but at the end of we don't have the modern set, and the cute set made its back, but the lovely set isn't here, and maybe that will show up in February, right? But
yeah,
I'm just wondering if Cyrus
doesn't bring some of that back, and we, instead of getting DIYs, or maybe he gives us more DIYs to be able to craft some of those sets, right?
By, doing different little, I don't know. Maybe he has us go and collect this or this and this, and then he'll give us a DIY, or I don't know how they end up doing it. But I just have a hard time believing that we're only going to see them in Harvs in June. It just seems like a waste of their character models, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see because, I mean, that's what we used to have to bring him the crystals, right? And he would customize our items for us and stuff.
Yeah, it's just different now because we can customize.
But we customize our own.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I was kind of glad to not see some of those same furniture sets just because we've seen them in every game. Like, I was kind of excited to have totally new sets, personally.
I think it's good. It's just I feel like there is kind of like when you start looking around Instagram and you know, seeing different people's pictures, a lot of people's stuff looks very similar because there's not a huge variety of furniture.
Yeah.
You know, you've got your antique stuff, you have your what is it, Imperial?
Right.
Your Imperial set, right? But it just seems to be it's like there's like a couple sets and then there's just a bunch of random stuff.
Right.
And so I don't know, it just seems like there's going to be, and they've talked about how long they want to support this game, and so I can understand holding some things back and then
definitely
and then putting it out later. So
yeah.
And again, it's fun to just speculate too, because I don't know, I like to read into things a little bit when they're talking about when she's mentioning like, oh, Sai can build you this or Sai could build you that, you know. I'm just like, what else could Sai build?
Her Sai guy.
Yeah. What else can he make? So
yeah.
You've been loving the new fish and bugs this month, being able to catch sharks finally.
So the sharks are great, but my favorite is I almost cried. I knew it would. I knew. Oh my gosh! I probably shouldn't have admitted to that.
For real?
Well, yes, I had a moment. Like, so that first night, like, you know, I was all excited for the sharks, because yes, I love fishing for sharks. And that was so exciting. You see that fin and like, oh, your heart just starts racing, right? But then as I continued to play and the evening, you know, came and it got dark, and then, oh, lo and behold, I saw what I always grew up calling them as lightning bugs. And I was just so excited because they were always, I mean, I remember them in the older games and loved it, right? So I should have expected it, but I just totally forgot. So when I first saw that, oh, I was so excited. So yeah, fireflies and the sharks, I'm so happy. And even seeing a beetle on the tree again was fun. Like, he's not worth much, but I'm like, oh, I love that because, again, just from the previous game, that's one of my favorite things was hunting the beetles on the trees, you know? So it was really fun. Well,
and what's interesting is I showed up at a mystery island, and there was I missed the first Goliath beetle, but then I just ran around a little while longer, and there was quite a few of them. It was almost like, I don't know if I found a beetle island. I don't know if that's a
interesting.
Thing. But
yeah, I haven't been to any island since June.
But I was able to snag the Goliath beetle that way.
I don't think I actually have caught the Goliath beetle. The one I caught was, I don't know which one it was. Green.
The green one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember either. There's still there's a blue one that sits on the stumps that I
still need that too.
I keep scaring it off every time, like, because I'm not out bug hunting. I'm just wandering around, and then all of a sudden I see the blue bug fly off, and I'm like, oh, I need that one still.
Yep, same every time. It's like, oh man.
So I went on I had to dig up a bunch of fish bait, clams, make fish bait. Takes so long.
Oh my goodness.
It's so obnoxious. Like,
we've got to be able to buy bait at some point.
Yeah. You know, the last duplication glitch, I had somebody make me a bunch of Nook miles, and I should have had them make me bait.
Done bait.
Like, I think bait is probably worth the
more
most.
Valuable
Yeah,
than
it's
tickets.
it's the most valuable item in the game right now.
It just takes so much time because not only do you have to catch each clam individually, then you have to make each piece of bait individually.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice.
Yeah,
so.
Even if we could buy it from CJ, kind of like we have to wait for Leaf to come to buy certain things. Even we could buy fish bait, just those, you know, would at least help a little bit. But
right, exactly. And I'm sure they're gonna make some changes to it eventually. Because I mean, honestly, because I've been playing this game for like almost 20 years, I don't even worry about bait. I just like wandering my beach, and you know, the only thing that I don't like right now is that during the before 4:00, the fins are a sucker fish, which is just another version of sea bass, or a whale shark. So you may end up pulling the whale shark, but I believe that's it. So it's like I was getting all excited before 4:00, and I'm like, oh, another sucker fish, and then my chat was like, the sharks don't show up till 4. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's right. So
yeah, I don't use the bait very often either, but like the 2 times I've used it the most was just at the end of the month when I still needed that one fish and hadn't caught it yet, and I waited till the last minute, and so then I used bait for that. But I typically would rather just kind of run around too, and they show up. I mean, we got a huge beach, right? Like, so it's not that difficult.
what's so different about this game is that there's fish on different levels now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's kind of nice when you're especially from like the way my island is terraformed right now. I don't have much for fishing up on a second or third level, and so the bait's very, very handy. I was going for that Ranchu goldfish. It took me quite a bit of like, I probably went through 50 or 60 pieces of bait.
Oh wow.
Trying to catch that thing, and then finally landed it with like 2 minutes to spare. Because it's only around from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh gosh, okay.
And so, yeah, I finally landed. It's a really ugly goldfish with like puffy cheeks and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't caught that one yet.
Kind of funny, but I was pulling out some other, like, I can't remember. There's so many different fish, but there are some new pond fish that are big shadows, and I think they're actually worth an okay amount to.
Yeah, I caught an arowana yesterday.
The snakehead.
Huge.
The snakehead is the one I've been pulling out of the pond.
Okay, and I haven't got that one yet either. I prefer to fish at the beach. I don't like fishing freshwater as much, but I need to just to get them all. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, lots like you said, seeing the lightning bugs or whatever was very cool. It adds quite a bit. It makes taking some pictures even a little more fun.
Yeah, it does, and it just it's just summer, and brings back childhood memories and. It's fun, lots of fun.
So next up is what we've been working on this week, and I'll just be honest, I've been playing a lot of other games. I haven't been playing as much Animal Crossing as I had been, and what I've been working on is trying to catch some of these fish that have been eluding me. And it was nice for me to take a break from the terraforming and designing and decorating, because I'm at the point that my island is pretty much done. And now I'm going to start tearing it all apart. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is make like almost like a farmer's market, or like a bunch of street vendors.
Yeah.
I've been doing some Animal Crossing cribs, which I highly recommend you guys go and watch. Some of the most recent ones are very cool. The Sketching Moose, I believe was his name. And his island was a national forest.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and the custom dirt path that he used has like the triangles and stuff, so it basically looks like the grass that you see in New Horizons, but it's dirt.
I love that.
And
That's
it was
great.
very sporadic, and it made the trails look very organic and natural. So highly suggest going and checking that out. Another island I went to had a sushi. A little sushi vendor, and they had fish in the tanks next to the counter, and they had a really cool sushi menu, and that was on a sign.
Cute.
And the cutting board, they had some sushi designs on that, and then they used I believe it was a hat sitting on on the stand, and it looked like it had sushi also. So
I love that. People use the hats for a lot of things. They can get really creative. That's awesome.
Yeah, right now in my boardwalk area, I have a balloon hat for if it was being sold or whatever. So
right.
But yeah, and I just recently had somebody send me cupcakes, so I'm like, I could make a little bakery vendor, maybe a little sushi, a little coffee, just kind of go through, maybe do you've got a really cool wine area that has kind of inspired me to like, maybe I should do a little
Yeah, I just did that this
tasting.
week, a little tasting area.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had fun with that. It's definitely somewhere I'd like to go sit and hang out.
Well, and like for me right now, my island is very I love the areas I've created. I feel like I let my imagination go wild and kind of create the areas that I would like to go visit or whatever.
Right.
Or that I visited in the past. And I have all my villagers very close together, so I can easily get the recipes that they're creating.
Yes.
But now I feel like I want to really focus on giving them their own spaces and like rolled. He's always wearing his muscle suit, and sometimes now I gave him a sleeping mask, and he just wanders around with his eyes covered, like it's no big deal. He's got his muscle suit on, or sometimes he'll wear my N64 sweatshirt with his sleeping mask. Middle of the day. He just has he's a goofball.
That's great.
So,
I love it.
But yeah, what have you been working on?
Yeah, so I kind of I don't know, I feel like I've not played as much as I wanted to these last week or two also. So I have been just trying to focus on kind of, well, actually I take that back. I had a few areas that were completely empty and I didn't know what to do, and I kind of was avoiding them for a while because they were driving me crazy. And so I did finally do something with what major part of my island that I'm pretty happy with. But since then, I've just kind of been evaluating areas and then just kind of adding little finishing touches. Like, it's easy to go through and, do your terraforming and get that kind of set, but then to really focus on, oh, maybe I'll put a log stool here and then a flower in front of it, or a little piece of a fence behind it. Or I really like playing with the depth of decorating. And then I always like to make my camera tilt down and kind of look at the landscape, the view of it, and kind of decide, because I like, as you're approaching an area, I like to be able to see the things that are coming into view first. And I don't know, I like to just pay attention to a whole area as I walk up on it and as I take pictures of it. And so I've just had a lot of fun just kind of focusing on just little finishing touches, even just, whether it's adding even just a book or planting a couple extra things, or I don't know, I like just making them more appealing. And I like everything to be kind of rustic and natural looking, but I love how you can still, it's cute to throw down a candle here and there, or up in some of my wooded areas, I use the star fragments to decorate with. And so they're kind of cute just laying around, but then at night they glow. And so it's really fun because then you got this lit trail, glowing through the woods. And so that's kind of what I've been working on, is just kind of trying to finish off little areas, add the little finishing touches, and then I still have tons more to do, but that's just what I've been doing lately.
Got it. And, one of the things I have a whole video about just talking about feeling overwhelmed.
Yes.
And so you can go check that out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/N64Josh. I have a whole Animal Crossing playlist, actually, that's got these Cribs episodes. And speaking of the Cribs episodes, if you want to have your island toured, you can jump into voice chat with me and tell me about it. If you're too nervous to talk, but you still would like to show off your island and you've got some cool areas, please reach out to me. My DMs on Twitter are open at N64Josh, or you can message me on Instagram as well, wherever you prefer. And I would love to be able to come tour your island and make it an episode of Animal Crossing Cribs. So, but yeah, as far as feeling overwhelmed, it's kind of you just got to take bite-sized chunks and just kind of pick the area you want to work on and go for it. Honestly, what I feel overwhelmed with right now is, now that I've decorated everything and terraformed everything, I'm it's like when I had all the flowers everywhere, I'm kind of tempted to just pick everything up, set a garbage can up, and throw it all away. I'll just order stuff again if I need to, because I'm just
there's just too much.
I don't want to lay it all out. My storage just keeps getting more and more full in my house.
Oh, I have filled my storage twice already. I have to keep going through, and yeah, sad day. At first I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But yeah, I filled it twice. So I can use bigger storage. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, I agree. Just doing just bite-sized little projects at a time, instead of looking at your whole island and being like, it's all a mess, or, I want to redo all of it. Just focus on little areas. And I don't know, it just kind of, once you start in one spot, I feel like it really does help just getting that momentum going, and then kind of get, I don't know, that was how it was for me anyways. I would have all these ideas and be so excited to play. I turn it on and be like, I've got so much to do. I don't even know what to, but as soon as I pulled out the shovel and just started doing a couple things, and I like to just remove the trees from the area, kind of start fresh wherever I'm at. I always have trees with me because I love to decorate with the trees, but I just remove them. And then if I'm wanting water, you just kind of start. You start digging. And it's I like that, or I don't. And you just keep going. And, I don't know. It helps to just, one little bit at a time. Because it can be overwhelming. But it shouldn't be. It's fun, right? It's meant to be fun. So Don't let it stress you out.
Right. So, a couple of your, any new items or favorite DIYs that have shown up recently that you're really excited about?
Yes, some of the DIYs I've been wanting forever, I finally started getting, I feel like recently. And not some of them have been thankfully like through people who have given them to me, but I have found a few also, like the fallen log bench was one, the wild log bench. I can't remember what it's called now. I love that one. I was given the duck decoy, which is one of my favorites. I have ducks all over my island. And I just got the tiny library just yesterday, I think.
You stole something off of my Southern Hemisphere that you were really excited about, right?
I might have. Did I steal it or did you give it to me?
Well, I mean, you put me in that situation of like, you kind of batted your eyelashes a little bit, you know,
I think you gave it to me.
I think, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think like I finally got the ironwood dresser. Is that what the one you're
I
talking
think
about?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Which neither of us had, so I was like,
right? Like that's the one I think from since the beginning. Like we saw, like I don't know, right off the bat, I feel like I had the ironwood cupboard, I guess, kitchenette. I had the kitchenette right away. But yeah, you have to have the dresser. And so I feel like, and then, yeah, I eventually acquired the cabinet or cupboard and it still needed it. And so I feel like that's been the one thing I've like asked people to make me, you know, the most of. And
Right.
like, it's been so annoying. So yes, finally it is in my possession. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that, by the way.
oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, the fallen log bench or whatever it's called, the wild log bench is very, very
Yes.
cool. And that's the thing with like that National Forest Island. Those were, he would set a log stool and then lay that bench next to it, so it was places to sit, but it also looked like
Oh, I love that.
you had just fallen a tree, and it looked better than if you had actually fallen a tree and put the stump next to it, because the fallen log next to it, because they were the same color.
Right.
You know,
right.
you could match the color, because the growing trees, their brown is a little different color than the brown of these.
Yeah, that's true.
These logs. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love all of that natural stuff. I love the log stakes I use all the time, the stools, both of the log benches I use, the barrels. I know that's not a natural thing, but I just love the way they look throughout. I don't know, the ducks. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
I know one of the things I love, I'm just even looking at we've got your Switch sitting next to me while the characters are on the TV screen, but I can see the well.
Oh,
and
I love the well.
I love throwing the well in there in different places. It just makes it look like it wasn't necessarily a deserted island. Like maybe there was somebody there at some point. So
Yeah.
why don't you give us a little, like, you've got like a vacation resort or something in mind? You want to tease that a little bit?
I do. I have an idea I am so excited to work on. I just haven't started it yet because I know it's going to take a lot of time. But yeah, I'm going to do a little like vacation resort on my island, kind of off, away from everything up in the woods. And it's going to give, what it does is give me a lot more rooms to decorate. And so a lot of the things that I haven't done on my island, because I just don't feel like it fits in with my theme so much, I'm going to be able to do at this vacation resort. So I'm really excited because it's going to open up a lot of options for me as far as, you know, for example, like even just like a salon, you know, things like that, or a day spa, something like that. Like, I don't necessarily want that somewhere on my island that you're just going to walk around and see. And in my house, like, I haven't even actually finished my house. Like, holy cow, there's so much to do, but I'm really excited. So, yeah, I don't want to, I have ideas. I won't say them all until they're done. And then you can come tour my island and see it. But yeah, I'm excited.
And how are you planning on doing this stuff?
So my plan is to add some new accounts, user accounts to my Switch and then on my game. So I will be able to have extra houses on my island.
So one of the things I've actually thought about doing is remaking a campsite and adding three accounts so that those tents are on that campsite for
That's cute.
ever.
Yes,
right? But
that's
you are
cute.
planning on expanding these, paying the loans fully off, like paying them off fully, and then
Well, so I plan on one paying off, yes, expanding, like growing my house, and that's going to be like my lodge, or, you know, like the main like office, like you'll walk into the lobby and then the whole house will be all those rooms that I talked about, like maybe an arcade, maybe a spa, maybe, you know, whatever. And then the other places, I feel like I'm going to just keep them small houses, but then that gives me the opportunity to decorate them in different, like I could have a log, like the actual cabin theme stuff in one, and then I could do one that's more like modern and pretty or frilly or whatever. You know, I can kind of decorate each cabin and it's a different theme. And then so, I mean, obviously it's not like people are going to go use them, but it just gives me personally more ways to utilize all the, you know, different things that, like I said, that maybe I like, but I don't have room for in my house, or, you know, whatever. So it just gives me, what, 3, 4, or 5 more houses? It's up to me, I guess, really, right? So
exactly. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, very cool. That gives lots of room for expansion and just kind of allowing you to create more. So I think a few things we need to let you guys know about, and we'll wrap this thing up, is we are going to be doing catalog parties. And if you want to stay up to date with those, the best way is to go onto Instagram and follow at Animal Crosser Jen.
Yes.
And she will be posting in her stories and doing different posts periodically when the catalog party will be taking place. We're kind of dedicating our Southern Hemisphere island to this these parties. And the way we're sectioning off the parts of the island, if you've already been to the party before, you will know what you've picked up because you've been to those sections, and then we're opening up other sections that will be new, so that you don't have to come and grab the same stuff you've already cataloged. So there's reason for you to keep coming back.
Right.
The other thing is we want to hear from you guys. You've got questions for us. You have comments. You've got some thoughts about the game that you'd like us to discuss or talk about. You can also message Jen at Animal Crosser Jen on Instagram, or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section, and we will refer back to it before the next episode, and be able to kind of, you know, hear your thoughts and opinions on some of the June stuff, or the things that you're most excited about, or what it is that you're working on. So with that, I think we're going to wrap up. Jen, real quick, just to let people know where they can follow you and find some of your other content.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at Animal Crosser Jen. That's where you'll see all of my Animal Crossing content. I do have a personal at N64Jen as well, but Twitter, because of the length of my name, is just Crosser Jen, and I'm on Facebook and everything too as Animal Crosser Jen, but I'm most active on Instagram. So.
And Twitch, right?
And Twitch, N64Jen, yes. So yeah, come hang out with me there because that's a lot of fun just to chat while we play. So yeah.
There you go. And she's gonna have a Twitch streaming schedule put together before the next episode.
I will.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that way you know when you can go and check her out live. I'm streaming pretty much daily on Twitch at N64Josh. A variety of games. We just picked up Clubhouse games, which is very fun, and it's, I don't know, this is so goofy to say, but it almost feels like an extension of Animal Crossing. Like, these are the games I wish I could play while I was on my island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Moncala and darts and bowling. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm all about it. So,
right.
So yeah, but I'm everywhere at N64Josh, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, everywhere is at N64Josh. And if you enjoy listening to podcasts, you can also check out the Nintendo Powercast, which is another show that I host. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye now.